Casemiro, guys. Casemiro. That's the question. What do we do with him? What does Manchester United do with this boy who earns so much money, plays a few games? People are confused about him, but listen, a decision has got to be made. My name is Webb. This is the United of Sport. Here is my honest opinion about Casemiro. Now, first of all, quick update, guys. It is most likely going to be good news for Aiden Heaven, as according to reports we get, he will be back training with the team immediately after the international break. He should be training proper, fully with the team, but he's also already at Carrington undergoing light training now already. So it means he's okay, guys. Aiden Heaven is okay. No protective boot, nothing. So you just needed to take note of that. But listen, guys, as we go into this summer transfer window, where we are projecting forward, looking at players we want to bring in, we're talking of Hugo Ekitike, the hat-trick hero for the French under-21s. You're talking of all these players that we're linked with. Mbeumo, I'm told Man United is among the clubs that is, fully interested in him. But again, we don't know whether Brentford will be looking to let him go. And all these other players we've been linked with. We do know that United is in a proper sell-to-buy situation. Before we think of signing anyone, we've got to first think of which players we are going to sell and how much money the team will raise. Now, we know that Marcus Rashford, Antonio Dos Santos, Sancho are probably on their way out. And perhaps now we can even do the math of how much money we could get from each of them. Rashford, 40 million. Then I don't know how much Betis would really give Man United. I think not more than 30 million or even 25 million for Antony. I don't see anything more than that. Then you think of which other player is Sancho. I think would also be not more than 20 million, because already Chelsea look like they don't want to keep him. They actually want to pay Man United for us to take him back. And naturally saying we don't need him. So clearly he's unwanted. So there is that. I think the obligation in the loan that United has with Chelsea, I think the obligation to buy when Chelsea finishes in the top 10 is at about 15 million or 20 million. It's little money, by the way. I'll verify the exact amount. But anyway, getting proper to the other guy that we certainly can sell, it's Casemiro. I know people and friends of mine who have been, I think, sort of blinded by the past two good performances by Casemiro against Arsenal and the immediate next game, probably against Leicester. Was it the game? The game after that, where he played well. And I think Real Sociedad. And people are beginning to, make it seem like now this is the Casemiro of Real Madrid. All of a sudden he's back, so we can't sell him because he has 1 year left on his contract. Meaning we would have to keep him past this summer until the next, then he leaves as a free agent. But remember, this guy is earning £340,000 per week. So do we continue paying that money for another year, near and a half, for him to play a few, two good games, then he goes out of the team? Then, because, in fact, the reason he's playing even in those 2 games is because Amorim has adjusted his playing style to accommodate him. But next season, Amorim won't be playing that cautious style where the central midfielders are not pressing because they don't have the gas to press just because of the players he has. He needs players who are going to press from high. He doesn't want to invite a lot of pressure on his team. That's how Amorim plays in his system. So that's why they need physical, young players who have got the lungs to press. Casemiro doesn't. So don't fall for it. For me, I think we should cash out. It doesn't matter how much. I'm sure there is a club out there that can pay 5 million or even 10. A club in Brazil or wherever, Saudi. I don't think he's the kind of player who would go to Saudi. He doesn't seem to be that player. I think at least by now he would have gone already, I think. But even if no club wants to pay that money, Man United should be negotiating a deal with him to leave, and they compensate him, perhaps pay him a certain percentage of what would be his wages for the entire remainder of his contract, give him a certain percentage, and certainly he should be able to forfeit the rest. Or if there is a club that wants to pay any money for him, give him some of the money. The way it was with Wan-Bissaka. I think Man United negotiated a deal where even Scott McTominay, part of the money is paid to Man United for those two, went to the players to buy them out of their contracts because the club is saying go, he doesn't want to go. So do the same with Casemiro and move on from him. So that by the time we get into a new season, it's a whole new energy. It's a clean slate, exciting young players. We have a lot to look out for. Not these old Eriksen, let this whole bunch of nobodies leave at once so that it's a fresh start for Manchester United. That's my honest opinion. The only players that we cannot just lose are the young players who are disciplined. Because if I say young players, people might bring in Sancho, people might bring in Rashford, who is not really young, but yeah, they might bring him in. I think for me, players like Kobe, players like Zaxi, players like Garnacho, players like Højlund, these are players whose issues can be resolved and handled by the club. Give them a bit of time in terms of the football, but they are young. There is reason for us to keep them. So before we get excited about letting go of Højlund or the striker and all because we are being impulsive, let's do a proper clean-up of the squad. And we definitely know before you get to Højlund or Zaxi, there are certain players we need to clean like yesterday. So that's my view on the whole Casemiro situation. Don't be blinded by the 2 good games he had. Guys, he's not back. He's not back at all. He should leave the club. No hard feelings. Beautiful, good season. In fact, I remember in his first full season at Man United, when United finished 3rd, I remember many people were saying he was probably United's best signing post-Sir Alex Ferguson. And it was debatable if you just judge how he performed in that one season. Because it's the singular reason why Erik ten Hag really made it seem like United were coming back under him. If that first season was anything to go by. The games he was out of the team, United struggled. So his first season was good. But that's it. He's done. His best is behind him. That's not where we're headed. Not even for a year. A year is too big. Imagine another whole year enduring Casemiro, by the way. Imagine. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And at the time when you're trying to cut your expenses and what, you don't debate when it comes to such a player. So you fans out there, be prepared. I'm sure Amorim sees it. I'm sure in your seat, be prepared for the departure of Casemiro, whether he wants it or not. Trust you me, it's what they are working to figure out at the club right now. That's my honest 2 cents about it. Cheers. My name is Webb. Let me catch you later again. Subscribe.